you are interested in getting statement of purpose feedback, I provide a statement of purpose review service on Fiverr where I will provide you with constructive feedback to make your essay stronger and more competitive. Previous clients have been admitted into Harvard, University of Pennsylvania, and Columbia, just to name a few. Please look at the description down below to access the link to my service. For the past few years, I have been reviewing hundreds of statement of purpose for graduate school. And today, I wanted to share with you the 5 most common mistakes I noticed when I review the statement of purpose for graduate school. And I also want to share with you some tips and advice on how to fix those. The first mistake that I see is that applicants have unclear career goals. Graduate school committees want to see that you have a plan in mind that you want to take action on once you get accepted and once you're enrolled in the graduate program. And so they want to make sure that you as an applicant who has been accepted come into the program with the plan that you want to execute. And so if you don't have a clear goal in mind of what you want to learn, what skill sets you want to gain, that's going to be hard for them to want to accept you. However, graduate school committees do understand that your career goals might change as you progress through the program or as you enroll in multiple courses, but they want to get a general sense of what you plan to do while in graduate school and beyond that. With this said, I want you to make a list of things you want to accomplish in the program and ways in which you're going to accomplish those tasks, and what is the overall goal that you want to pursue once you finish your graduate degree. So in your statement of purpose, you can start off the broader goal. So for example, you can say, my career goal is to become the vice president of student affairs at a community college in Washington State. That's pretty broad, right? But the committee also wants to know why you want to do that. So your next sentence could be, specifically, I want to develop policies, practices, and programs to improve the lives and shape the futures of Latina, Latino, Latinx students in rural communities. So as you can tell, I was very specific, and the committee is understanding why I want to become a VP, and that's because I want to develop policy, practices, programs to influence and impact the lives of this group of people, right? So I want to impact the lives of rural, Latina, Latino, Latinx students that come from rural communities. So I want you to be that specific when you are describing your career goals. One common mistake that I see when applicants attempt to write their clear goals is that they write so many goals. They want to do this, they want to become entrepreneurs, they want to become teachers, they want to become leaders, they want to do research, they want to save the world, right? That's what I read a lot in these statement of purposes. But for the purpose of a statement of purpose, you want to only choose 1 to 2 of those goals and write about those throughout your statement of purpose. Although you might want to transform a bunch of different sectors within education, for the purpose of the statement of purpose, choose 1 to 2 things. It's going to help clear up a lot of what you want to do in the future. One thing you want to avoid is confusing the committee. They know that one person cannot change a whole sector of education. It obviously takes a team, and one person cannot do that solely. They want you to be realistic with these goals, and they want you to be clear. Another common mistake I see is lack of storytelling. The purpose of a statement of purpose is really for you to tell the committee what are your career goals, why you want to go to graduate school, how did you get to this point of wanting to go to graduate school in your field, and what are the steps you need to take to accomplish those career goals. That's really the purpose of the statement of purpose. You're kind of outlining my action plan, and here's why I need to go to your program and your institution. And so that's what you need to focus on when you're writing the statement of purpose. And the key to writing a compelling statement of purpose is with storytelling. So one thing that I commonly see in statement of purpose writing is that applicants reiterate what's already on their CV or resume. I want you to understand that when committees review your application, they review every aspect of that application package. That includes a resume, a CV, a writing sample, obviously your application, your statement of purpose, letters of recommendation, etc. They review it holistically. They review every aspect of it. I don't want you to reiterate what's already said in your resume or CV. Instead, I want you to tell the story behind those skills that you've gained, those experiences, those outcomes that maybe you have drove with your experiences. I want to know the story behind that. I want to know, and they want to know, how did you get to wanting to go to graduate school? How did you get here? What's the story? So don't focus too much on sharing your accomplishments in your statement of purpose, because it can already see that in your application and your resume and CV. Make the statement of purpose the story behind those accomplishments. What's driving you to want to change outcomes for Latino, Latinx rural students? What's that story? What drove you to want to do that? And that's what you need to do in your statement of purpose. Tell the story. Use storytelling in your writing. I understand that some of you might have a hard time storytelling, and that's very difficult. It's going to take a lot of iterations of your statement of purpose to be able to really tell that story. One way you can begin to think about what that storyline might look like is to make a list of all your experiences within your field and write out some of the aha moments you have gained from those experiences. So let's say you are applying to a PhD in education and you're focused on changing outcomes for rural students. Think about some of those experiences that you had that relate to that experience. So maybe you're really good at developing and creating innovative programs for this population of students, and maybe you did that in your work experience. Write about that work experience, tell them what it is, where it was at, how many students you worked with, and then tell one story about that experience that captures the essence of why you want to go to graduate school to change these outcomes for this population of students. Another mistake that I see in statement of purpose is unclear reasons as to why you want to attend grad school or why you want to attend that program and institution. A lot of the time, people get fixated on rankings or top programs in your field, and you don't really have a tangible reason as to why that program is the perfect fit for you and what you can contribute to that program. Instead, you just want to go to this program because it's the top ranked program in your field. The key to graduate school admissions is really fit. Can you convince the committee in your statement of purpose and your application as a whole that you are the best fit for their program, for their institution, and that you can contribute something to the cohort? That's really the key to gaining admission to an institution. If you can't convince the committee that you are that perfect student for that program, then you're probably not going to get in. No matter if you have the perfect scores in the GRE or with your GPA, or you have the highest credentials, the best experiences, if you can't convince anybody in your statement of purpose why you need to be at that institution in that program, then you won't get in. Some of the ways that you can convince committees if you're a good fit is by sharing how some of their courses, their internships, their resources are going to benefit you and help you reach your goal. That's one great way to be able to tell them why you need to be at their institution. One point that I do want to make in terms of this advice is that you don't want to keep it surface level. I want you to dig deep and into research about that program. Go on their website, talk to current students, talk to alumni, talk to faculty, and get all the information you can, and then use that to your advantage when you're writing your statement of purpose. Something else you can do to showcase to the committee that you are the best fit institution or program is if you identify some of the ways that you already try to tackle some of the most pressing questions in your field, and you tell them how you attempted to mitigate those challenges and where you failed and why this program is going to be a good fit to bridging the gap in your knowledge and skill sets. And that's a great way for you to be able to showcase why you need this program, why you need this institution, and why you need to go to graduate school now. Another most common mistake I see is that a lot of applicants are selecting to apply to the wrong programs. And the reason I say this is because a lot of applicants fail to really do their research on the programs they're applying to. They don't understand what the mission and vision and model are of the program. They don't understand what type of students they are wanting in their program. The only way for you to find out what type of applicants are successful for these programs is by doing research and talking to a bunch of people that already either been to the program, are in the program, or working for the program. And you want to understand who are the applicants that are being successful, what attributes do they bring to the program, what attributes do they possess, and maybe also what type of research are they doing that aligns with the program as a whole. And one example that I want to give you about this is when I was applying to PhD programs, I really wanted to get into Vanderbilt. And the only reason why I wanted to get into Vanderbilt was because I knew it was a top program for education policy, and that that was the only reason why I wanted to get in. Even though I did intensive research on the program and I knew that the type of student that they were looking for, I still applied even though I wasn't the best fit. And the type of person that they're looking for is someone who is very strong with quantitative methods or who wants to learn quantitative methods and focus their methodology on that method in their work. And I didn't make a strong enough case to showcase that I was a good fit, that I was a good, strong quantitative method student, and that's why I got denied. I did not fully understand what type of student they were looking for, or I really didn't fit what type of student they were looking for, but I still applied because I wanted to really get in because it was a top program in the field. So make sure you understand what type of student they're looking for, and if it doesn't fit who you are, then I suggest that you don't waste your time in applying. The next mistake that I commonly see is that a student's statement of purpose does not have a clear theme or niche. This is probably the most important part of a statement of purpose because you want to make sure that your storytelling, that your statement of purpose comes together somehow. So you want to make sure you select a theme or niche and work off of that throughout the statement of purpose. This theme or niche should match your career goals, what you want to accomplish in the program, and what you want to do post-graduation. Oftentimes I see applicants have multiple niches, multiple themes that they speak about, and it doesn't flow really well in a statement of purpose. A lot of the time I tell these students, these applicants, that they are confusing the reader. We don't really get a read of what they really want to do in the field, and that's not a good thing for graduate school admissions because in grad school you have to have clear goals. This is not a time for you to use graduate school to explore a field or explore your career goals. They want to know that you have a career path and a career mission that you want to accomplish in your time in graduate school. The best way to establish a clear theme, a niche, is for you to know what your career goals are and the population of people that you want to improve the lives of, or whatever you want to do in the field, whether it's research, where are the gaps, and then what subfields you want to also work within. So what I want you to do is I want you to make a list of all the things that you're interested in and then try to put those together and create a theme that's going to be the focus of your statement of purpose. Some of the themes in the field of education that you can maybe work with are reducing educational inequality, for example, or working towards equity, or maybe you're interested in improving educational outcomes for a certain population of students. So pick your theme and be specific. So if you're working with a community college sector, focus all your statement of purpose on that sector. If it's the K through 12 sector, if it's middle school, if it's high school, if it's non-traditional education, talk about that and make that your focus. Don't be jumping from sector to sector when you're writing this. Alright guys, so that concludes my video on the 5 most common mistakes I see in statement of purpose essays for graduate school. Let me know if you have any questions down below about the statement of purpose process or anything about graduate school in general, and I will get to you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.